Eh? According to before it launched the game and bring me the menu, the game contains screen shaking, mild jump scares, as well as depiction of mind, memory, manipulation, blood, and death. This is why it is 16 plus rated. I have no idea. And we start. What's your name? E. What's your cat name? I'm going with Tofu because that's the name of the cat that's closest to me. Your cat is... I never considered what gender Tofu was. Let's just go with female. Tofu has been missing for a while now. She was an indoor cat and had the tenacity of a wild cat on a mission trying to leave whenever the door was open. Catio and playtime just wasn't enough for the little missus. I figured she'd come running if I left out some food by the porch. Come running if I left out some food by the porch. 3 days later, still no cat. I've tried everything I could think of. Asking around the neighborhood, putting up missing cat posters. Sadly, nothing came from my efforts. I couldn't search for her during the day since I had work keeping me occupied. There's only so many hours in an evening I could yell around the streets looking for her. There was only one place left I could think of that she might have ran off to. The woods by my house, right across the street. I've definitely caught her eyeing the birds and squirrels that ran alongside the perimeters from the front window, her teeth clicking in excitement. I wasn't no outdoorsy person by any means. In fact, the thought of going in there scares me. But I had to find her, or at least try. The first weekend that came around, I packed up some water, Tofu's favorite treats, and a compass to be safe. Wasn't sure where to even begin looking for her, so I started walking in a straight line, calling out her name every few steps. It certainly didn't take long for me to realize I was way in over my head. Why did I think this was a good idea? It was hard to find my bearings within the surrounding trees. I didn't want to admit I was lost, or at least not yet. I could only squint down at my compass as the needles spun slowly. I'm pretty sure they weren't made to do that. Did I really bring a busted compass on my first venture out in these woods? Figured that would just be my luck. The only thing risking my own safety was my own incompetence. I shook my head hastily. No. No time for negativity. Tofu was out there somewhere, cold and lost and hungry. I had to keep going. It's been hours. I'm so lost. I don't even know why I kept searching even after the moment I'd realized that. Why did I think this was a good idea? Hunger had been gnawing at my stomach for a while now, having missed breakfast and lunch altogether. The heat and humidity from the afternoon sun was unbearable, but the cooling air did nothing to soothe me. Even if I were to head home, I didn't even pinpoint where that was. What do people even do in this situation? I knew it was baseless optimism, but walking onwards was really the only thing I could think of to do. Surely I come across something familiar. I trudged on, my shoes carefully avoiding the tree roots intertwined across the forest floor. But in my weakened state, plus the approaching darkness, I found myself stumbling through the rough terrain. My feet hit something soft jutting out of the ground. My hand shot up as I lost my balance. My feet clumsily trying to find perches as I wobbled backwards, arms flapping. Poof! Cough, cough. What? My shoe had landed smack dab in the center of mushrooms, the brunt of it causing a wispy cloud to erupt from the cluster. I stuck my nose in my elbow to avoid breathing it in. I couldn't differentiate one tree leaf from another for the life of me, but I'm pretty sure humans aren't supposed to inhale whatever this was. It smelled strongly of rotten wood and wet dirt even as it cleared. Something shiny quickly caught my attention. I stooped down to pick it up, gasping under my breath. It was Tofu's collar. Covered in whatever those mushrooms released, I looked around desperately for any sign of her. Tofu? Tofu! Psst, 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 psst. A cough from inhaling some of the remaining dust flowing in the air. I should really steer clear from this. Pocketing Tofu's collar, I retreated carefully until I could breathe again. Stepping back, I could still smell it. It must have stuck to my hair and clothes. A quick once-over confirmed my suspicions with a slight cringe. A thin yet generous coating of it covered my sleeves and jeans. I leaned against a tree, dusting off my clothes in a naive attempt to get the dust and smell out to no avail. If anything, it felt like I'm breathing more of it in. What used to be musty now turned sweet, and I found myself inhaling even deeper, trying to pinpoint the smell. Cucumbers? It smelled like fresh cucumbers. A tingly feeling and corrupt up my hands and necks, pinpricks spreading across my limbs as a strange heat reached my face. I started to feel drunk and my senses were numb. It should freak me out. And yet, a strange comfort washed over me. I should lie down right now, in fact. My legs gave out from underneath me, my body toppling over at an awkward angle. I lay there and stared and stared and stared. It was nice here. A peaceful calm. The perfect place for a nap even. My eyes grew heavy as I swam in and out of consciousness. Yeah, a nap sounds really good right about now. Oh. Was the critters passing through by lately?
Self-voicing enabled. Lots of critters passing through lately. Sorry this happened to you.
Yeah, I was doing that again.
It could have been anyone, but it had to be you. Wait. A human? How'd you end up all the way out here? Self-voicing disabled. Self-voicing enabled. Still breathing, too. Oh jeez, I can't leave you here. What should I do? I woke with a jolt.
Okay, that was disabled. Just very interesting. I woke up with a jolt. It was warm but comfortably so. I could feel the weight of a blanket on me as I tried to sit up. I couldn't move my body. My fingers twitched uselessly at my side as my eyes darted around in panic. Glancing around, I could see the interior of a cabin, or at least the ceiling of one. I couldn't see much past the corner of my eyes. Where was I? How did I get here? A desperate feeling rose in my chest. I had to leave. Right now. This was wrong. 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 I wasn't meant to be here. I could hear the crackling of a fire nearby, and likely the source of warmth I had felt on waking up. I could also hear footsteps approaching. I shut my eyes quickly, hoping they hadn't noticed. I slowed down my breathing, willing my face muscles to stay still. From beside me, someone chuckled softly. I already know you're awake, Firefly. Come on now, I'm not gonna hurt you. I fluttered my eyelids, straining to look at the person approaching. My eyes widened as I took in their appearance, the protrusion from their forehead catching my attention. Not to mention the green skin. The stranger didn't sense my unease as they heaved a sigh of relief. "You're awake! That's good! Very, very good! How's you feeling?" I blinked. Oh. Oh, sorry, I forgot about that. Here. The person held a cup to my lips, a strong, sweet smell coming from the rim. A gentle hand grabbed my chin to open my mouth. I couldn't even move to resist. "Don't worry. It'll help you feel better, I promise. Drink up." As the liquid hit my tongue, all I could feel was a vague sense of heat. As I kept drinking, taste and texture returned. The sweetness of berries and caramel, I don't know, coating my taste buds. I could only detect a hint of mint. I lifted my head finally, heads fisting at my side as I propped myself onto the elbows. The person kept a steady hand on my chin, careful not to pour in too much in case I choked. I finished every last drop, wiping my mouth from the back of my hand. I stared at my fingers, realizing I had full autonomy over my body again. "Good as new. Now, how are you feeling?" "But better, thank you." The stranger laughed. "Oh, I like the way you sound. Been anxious since I've talked to anyone, much less with a voice as nice as yours." I brushed off their strange compliment, finally looking around the cabin properly. It was a simple room filled with spores but decorated wood furnitures, fit for someone living alone. An open archway to the right led to what I assumed to be the kitchen. Next to it, a door shut closed. Possibly the bathroom? Taking it in, it was a common theme of knitted decorations sewn about. Any available surface had patterned knitted tablecloth covering it. Ooh, is that a bunny? Jeez. An unfinished project laid beside the bedside table where sat a pair of knitted needles jutting out of a pile of yarn from a small basket. As far as I could tell, it looked like the beginning of a green scarf. The stranger was comfortable in staying silent, observing me as I glanced around. They tossed their hat onto the bed, scruffing their hair, making it even messier. With their hat off, their unique features were impossible to ignore. Sorry, but what are you? Oh, I didn't introduce myself, did I? Hiya, I'm Michael, with a Y. I shook my head. No, I meant that, Michael stared at me with their left ear twitching. You look very, he snored. Ugly, avoidant. No, just different. I like the blue tongue. Different, huh? You're just being nice. Well, then explain yourself. I mean, that's kind of rude, isn't it? I paused for a moment before pinching my nose bridge, exhaling slowly. I'm just... Sorry, it's been a long day, is all. I should be thanking you. If it helps, it's, a skin condition. Is that what you humans call them? The way they said it didn't sound confident. In the ears. Genetics. Right. And I assumed a little... I waved vaguely at their horns, antenna. Those things are just cosplay to complete the look. Would that make a convincing argument? I squinted. Maybe. Then yeah, it's cosplay. Still doesn't explain everything. Michael huffed a nervous laugh. Listen, I'm just a guy living by himself in... Is that really the game? Dang. Listen, I'm just a guy living by himself in the woods. You don't need to worry yourself further than that, okay? Something in his tone compelled you not to question his existence anymore. He's just some guy living in the woods. Completely normal. Right, completely normal. I'm E. Michael beamed. Nice to meet you, E. I fiddled with the blankets as Michael scooted closer from the edge of my bed. I know I already asked, but how are you feeling? Any aches, sores, nausea, intrusive thoughts, weird impulses, fever, maybe? I don't think so. Wow, that was quick dialogue for that. Anyways. He placed his hand on my forehead before I could react. His hands were... I can't pronounce words. Help. Calloused. Is that how you pronounce it? Quickly retreating as he gave a thoughtful hum. You seem to be... lucid. That's a good sign. Great. He hummed absently, his twitching ear reminding me of a protrude cat. Cat! My cat! Oh shoot. So sorry if this is out of nowhere, but have you seen a cat around these parts? Her name is Tofu. She's a sweet little thing with this, about this big, skittish, but she can approach strangers if she needs to. I pulled out my phone to show a picture of her, only to find it missing from my back pocket. Wait, where is... I haven't... Huh? Your cat, I haven't seen it. Oh, I see. I slumped I slumped against the pillows, rubbing at my temples. She lost her collar too. Even if no one finds her, they couldn't be able to tell where she's from. Michael stayed quiet, watching me from his side of the bed. You came all the way out here for a cat? Huh? Of course. To the point where you're willing to run yourself ragged this deep in the forest for a cat? Do you realize how far you've wandered away from the nearest town? I found you near unconscious in the area nobody set foot in for years. For a cat. He sounded like he was holding himself back from giving me a stern lecture, as if in disbelief I had such little regard for my own survival. My cheeks grew heated at how stupid ridiculous that sounds. I mean... She's not just a cat, she's my family. I know it was stupid for even trying, but I had to. Michael eased up, shoulders tense as he looked me over from underneath his unruly bangs. Family, huh? He finally tipped his head at me with a smile. You're willing to wander this far for such a small crater? Crater. I've had my fair shares of lost campers, hunters, and a few runaway teens or two. But someone looking for their pet? You're kind of weird, aren't you? I sputtered, much to his amusement. Speak for yourself! Who cosplays in the middle of the woods? Michael laughed a deep, heartily one reason from his chest. Fair. I think I'm starting to like you. Likewise. His smile widened, with something about it was off. He was showing much teeth. Looks like a normal smile to me. Anyways. It felt like he hadn't talked to someone in a real long time and forgot how to smile the right amount. I rubbed my neck trying to think of something else to say. Can I ask how did I get here? Oh, like I said, I found you in the woods not far from here. Oh jeez, really? I knew I was tired, but I couldn't have possibly... I just stepped in something important. Familiar pinpricks crept up my skin. Home. I need to go home. Michael stiffened as he grabbed my shoulder. Never mind that. You fallen unconscious, but, heat stroke. Heat stroke? No, that wasn't what happened. I was fine up until... Michael shook his head insistently, leaning close. No, Firefly, you weren't fine at all. If I hadn't found you when I did, well, who knows what could have happened? You could have gotten injured or attacked by a wild animal. There's danger in these woods, you know. No, he was right. You had been so foolish. How did you think you could do this on your own? Searching for your cat in the middle of the woods, and to go in without bringing water, passing out from heat stroke of all things. How could you have been so stupid? I shook my head, brain so too foggy to pick apart my thoughts. He sounded confident, so why should you doubt him? Well, if it means anything, I'm glad you were there. Micah relaxed, hand on his lap once more. He grinned at me. So am I, E. I'm definitely glad I found you. His eyes were hidden fully behind his unruly hair, but I couldn't find feeling how intensely they were fixated onto me as he said that. The hairs on the back of my neck stood. Sure. Without a distraction, I've only just realized how uncomfortable I was sitting still. The blanket on me was starting to itch just as the desperate need to get home began to rise in me again. This was interesting, but I should really get going now. Wait! My host jumped up from the bed before I could. I mean, you can't. I can't just let you wander around the woods this late. Please, stay a bit longer. You did it again. But Michael, I really have to. Come! He grabbed my hand and led me across the room. We stepped into the kitchen, a fragrant smell of cooked potatoes and meat hanging in the air. 2 plates had been set out on the small circular table, complete with utensils and mugs of tea. I wasn't expecting guests today, so the food is nothing fancy. But join me for dinner? He was so hopeful, ears drooping. You'd feel so bad if you had to say no. Michael's jaw dropped for a second before he quickly recovered. Yes, of course. Here, come. Sit, I'll serve up the cottage pie in a minute. I don't eat pie. I sat as instructed, my stomach rumbling something fierce as the smell was the only thing I could focus on. Yes, this was definitely the right choice. What was so important that you had to leave so soon? The outside world can wait. You could stay here and enjoy my company. Oh, actually, I should ask, are you okay with meat for dinner? I could make something else for you if that's not your preference. I have no idea what to say about meat. Anyways. Oh, okay, you'll be having some dinner same dinner as me then. Michael patted around the small kitchen with an almost giddy excitement. He put on a pair of knitted oven mitts, humming as he stooped down and pulled out a steaming tray of pie from the wood stove. The smell. It filled out the kitchen in an instant as he brought it to the table, my stomach rumbling louder in response. I'm pretty sure Michael could hear it, but he just smiled as he served up our portions. He discreetly cut me a bigger piece, which I was grateful for. It looks so good. Interesting. Wow. The crust was a nice golden color, streaked with crisp lines and garnish. The meat and veggies filled in looked absolutely delectable. The savory sauce leaking onto the plate. My mouth was watering, unsurprising considering the fat I haven't eaten all day. Careful now, it's still hot. It was fair advice, but I couldn't wait more than 2 blows before biting into my first forkful. It was definitely way too hot to eat straight from the oven. Michael kept a polite expression, the corner of his mouth lifting as I panted from the piece still in my mouth. He gave me a few seconds to recover, elbow planted on the table. Is it good? I nodded vigorously, even though my buds were burning. Mm-hmm. I couldn't taste anything. He laughed. It's usually better on the second bite. I slowed down, hand on my mouth as Michael poked his fork into his own slice. I tentatively blew on the pie to make sure it was cool before taking another bite. He was right. The second bite was a lot better. The seasoned potato crust was nice and crisp on top, cheesy and creamy in the middle. The savory meat filling was well cooked and bursting with flavor. Every bite felt like home. My host watched me enjoy the meal from across the table. Do you like it? Yeah, this tastes amazing, Michael. He flushed from the compliment, rubbing the back of his neck. I'm glad. I like to think of myself as a decent cook, but I've never been able to get anyone else's opinion on that. Do you like baking in particular? Not always. I usually go for simple dishes, with any ingredients available. I nodded, I miss it. I don't know what I miss. Though didn't say much else. I was more focused on scuffing down dinner, which thankfully Michael didn't seem to mind. The overall atmosphere was nice and homely, and I could hear Michael tapping his feet from underneath the table. I guess he was happy to have someone stay for dinner. It did seem like he lived alone, judging from the surroundings in his cabin. So, I'm kind of curious. He perked up instantly, his focus solely on me. What made you live all the way out here? Oh, well, when you look like me, it's kinda easier to just live out of sight from everyone else. A pang of guilt shot through my chest. I was giving him a hard time about how he looked too. He must have sensed the clear as day on my face. Not that you're one of them. You've actually been nicer than most, though I wonder if... His smile turned strained. Never mind, my point is, it's better here than anywhere else. Why don't you try the tea, Firefly? He seemed uncomfortable now, easing into a different topic. It's probably best to follow along. Oh, sure. I reached out towards my mug, only to push it off the edge with my clumsy fingers. Wait! I bent over the side to grab it, fully expecting it to fall just out of reach and land on the floor into broken pieces. It never did. Instead, a long green appendage was twisted around the ceramic cup, securely keeping it in place. Not even a drop had fallen out. Woo! It's a tail! You got a tail. My eyes trailed along the length of it until I pinpointed that it came from behind Michael. The rest of it particularly hidden under beneath his cardigan. Michael, is that yours? I Michael buried his face in his hands, the strange appendage from before lowering to his side, mug and toe. I'm sorry, think I think it's time I was honest. He lifted his head, fingers carding his hair back to reveal his eyes. I froze as two. No, multiple pairs of irises staring right into me before darting to the side and avoiding my gaze. I know it's a lot to take in, but this is who I really am. Please, please don't be scared. If this was in real life, I would say it was cool. That would kind of maybe compare to you with Sukuna. I swallowed audibly, willing myself to not look away. He seemed to be holding his breath as I gripped the edge of the table. It felt unsettling every time he blinked those eyes in succession, even when he wasn't looking at me. Was it real? It had to be. Everything about him suddenly made so much more sense. The isolation, the avoidant behavior. He looked freaky, yes, but he looked sad. I swallowed thickly. I'm not afraid. No, I'm not scared. Michael's many pupils blew wide, dilating like an excited wildcat. It sent a shiver up my spine. Okay, maybe just a little bit scared? Sorry. He hastily grabbed an empty plate and hid behind it, shoulders scrunched up despite his stature. Would it help if I just hide it? I could fix my hair like before if that's what you prefer. His voice was muffled behind the ceramic barrier between us. It was kind of endearing. I slowly reached out to touch his hand. A slight brush of my fingertips made him jump in place. Michael? Yeah? Can you put that down? He slowly lowered the plate. His eyes were still darted to the side, avoiding me. Can you look at me? Don't look at me like that. Sorry, I just can't stop looking. This was so awkward. His hands were shaking. I looked down at the mug still floating next to me, hanging on for dear life. I reached over and plucked it straight out of his grasp. I tentatively took a sip, noticing how Micah was watching me over the rim of the mug. The taste was mildly spicy with an almost earthly bite to it. I recognized it instantly as ginger tea. It's almost room temperature, but it's still pretty good. Huh? You wanted me to try the tea, right? I like it, so thank you. Oh, I'm glad. Michael relaxed back into his seat, following my lead as I picked up my fork once more. The silence didn't last long as Michael fidgeted. Are you really okay with this? With me? I gave him a once over, really taking in his features. It's very different from what I'm used to, but I think I can learn to like it. Is that weird to say? I mean, you're not bad to look at. You're actually kind of cool. It's like something out of a science fiction. Is that a good thing? Yeah. Oh. My point is, your appearance shouldn't matter. You've been nothing but kind to me so far. I'd be the worst kind of person to judge someone based on how they look. I haven't known you that long, but you seem like a good person. You're fine, Michael. I smiled at him. We're fine. I see. He fidgeted some more before nodding and smiling a bit. The Thanks. I'll cherish this moment forever. He beamed at me as he enthusiastically went back to eating his food. That was something. We continued with a bit of small talk, mostly stories about tofu or snippets of my personal life. Michael hung on to every word I said, not bothering to elaborate much about himself despite my burning curiosity. I could tell he was extremely insecure about his appearance, so it's probably best I keep my questions to myself for tonight. We cleared up the kitchen in relative silence, Michael storing away the rest of the pie as I washed the dish by the sink. Being out here in this remote cabin, I wondered how he had running water. Maybe I'll ask him later. So, thanks for dinner. Thanks for the company. Oh, and please take the bed tonight. But, you're my guest and I'm the host. Take the bed, okay? Alright, I'll be out of your hair first thing in the morning. Michael got quiet, staring at the floorboards. With his hair out of his way, I could finally read his expressions. He did seem upset. Is that okay? I need your help, though. I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna get lost again on my own. His tail flicked behind him. Yeah, I'll bring you home tomorrow morning. I heaved a sigh of relief. Thanks, Michael. I'll see you in the morning. Yeah. Good night. Good night, Michael. He seemed really happy being able to say that. I plopped myself down onto Michael's bed, getting comfy behind the blanket. Michael was gathering some blankets of his own to make a makeshift bed on the floor in front of the fire. He had an impressive collection of knitted items, a comfortable nest forming in the center of the room. My eyes trailed after his tail, now out in the open as it flicked and swayed, kinda like a cat. I miss tofu. Now with a full stomach, dozing off came easy. I didn't even realize how tired I was. I listened to the gentle crackling of the fire, my vision darkening. Good night. You're staring at us while we're sleeping.